Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another meal prep. So you probably noticed I did not have a grocery haul yesterday. So while we chop up some veggies, I'm going to give you a little story time and tell you what happened with the grocery haul. But most of what you're going to see in today's meal prep is what I picked up in my groceries. Anything else you'll see throughout the week when I do my what I eat in a day, which I pretty sure I should not be interrupted at all this week. So I should be able to film every day this week, at least Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So let's go ahead and chop up some veggies and have a little story time. So yesterday, I did not get my grocery list done Friday night like I wanted to. I was just really feeling so uninspired to make a meal plan. That happens to all of us. So I just thought I'm just going to start fresh in the morning. I'm not in a big hurry. I can always do a grocery pickup through my Kroger store, usually same day. So I just thought, okay, let's go to bed. Fresh eyes in the morning. So I did not schedule my pickup until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There's a few things I needed to get at Walmart. Did not feel like dealing with a Walmart on a Saturday afternoon. Ours gets really crazy. If you guys don't understand that, I'm sure you do though. So I decided just to do a Walmart pickup because I literally had 6 things to get. So I thought, why not? So I scheduled both of these for 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. I had to go to Safeway to pick up a few things that neither one of the stores had. And so it was going to be 3 stores, but pretty quick since 2 of them were a pickup. I asked my husband to come along with me because, I didn't have to really do much shopping. He just doesn't like the walking around in the store. And I figured, okay, I already spent enough between Walmart and Kroger. If I bring him along, I won't mindlessly walk around in Safeway and pick up things that I really didn't need because I really need to do a pantry and freezer challenge here soon because of all my mindless grocery shopping. So we pick up our Walmart, we pick up our Fred Meyer, and then we go to Safeway. It is we're just about right at 2 o'clock. Actually, it was right before. It was like about 1:50. And we get up to the stoplight by my house and the stoplight's out. So we didn't think anything about it. It happens all the time. Street lights are out. It's incredibly hot. It's almost 100 degrees this day. And so we were just like, let's just get home, get these. We really weren't looking forward to unloading these groceries because all know that's like the worst part of the groceries. Definitely is unloading them all. So then I get a text message from my son. If you guys did not know, my son does live probably, a quarter mile to half a mile away from my house. I'm not very good with distances, but literally like just down the street from my house. He lives on a different road, but it's just in the same neighborhood. He texts me and he says, did your guys' power go out? Because ours did. I'm like, well, I don't know yet. I couldn't text him because I was driving. And so we pull up to the house, back up to the garage, and guess what? The garage door does not open because our power is out. Now, our front door, we don't like to unload groceries there because the way our steps are. So we have steps also going into the garage, but our steps in our front house are just very wide, and they're not really the way they're not just regular steps. They're like those really long, deep steps, and they're kind of annoying to go up and down, especially with groceries. So we thought, well, we're just going to take in the cold groceries, leave the rest in there. We'll just get them later. I just want to get the cold stuff into the house, even though, we're having our electricity. And so we were, going to put everything in the refrigerator and hope the electricity was going to come on fairly soon. So we go up to the front door. Guess what? Because I'd had the front door open earlier, the storm door was locked. So I'm like, how the heck are we going to get into this house? Because we don't have a key to it. We never had a key when we bought the house. The door was already there. And so my husband goes like this, and he yanked it open. So a little scary that those doors are so easy to yank open. He didn't even mess up the lock or anything, but it is an old storm door, so that's probably why. So we were able to get into the house. Meanwhile, I'm going through all the groceries into my trunk because, of course, if I were bagging my own groceries, I always put all the cold stuff and the frozen stuff together, but I don't expect anybody else to do that for me, of course. So I'm going through all the bags, trying to find all the cold stuff, which surprisingly, there really wasn't a whole lot. It was mostly produce. We didn't need to pick up any milk, but I did have, cottage cheese and a few things. I had 2 things of meat, just some chicken and some ground beef, and that was it. So I just was sorting all that out, putting the bags up there for him to grab. And then we're just like, okay, we're done. We're not going to worry about unloading the rest of this. We're just going to do it when when our power comes back on. So we get everything into the house. I just literally just throw everything in the refrigerator because I did not want to have the door open any longer than I had to. I threw the meat in the freezer because I figured even though it's not going to freeze, but at least it'll stay colder in the freezer than in the refrigerator part. Of course, this has to happen on the day that I pick up all the groceries, right? You know, $200 worth of fresh groceries, and who knows, probably at least $300 or $400 in between my 3 freezers. I have food, so I am kind of panicking a little bit because I look at the power website and it tells me power will be restored by 1 a.m. because they have no idea what caused the power outage. I'm freaking out a little bit. We've been talking for 3 years since we bought this house to get a generator because since we've moved into this house, our power has gone out way more than it did in the one house we lived in for 17 years. We lived in the same house for 17 years before we bought this house. Or actually, it was about 16 years, about 15, 16 years. But our power went out maybe 2 or 3 times in that whole entire time we lived in that house. But all the it was out in the county. It was kind of way out of the city limits. And all the power lines were underground. There were no above ground power lines in our area. And so now we live in town and there are power lines like crazy all over the place. And there is always something going wrong with them. Well, also on the power website, it did say that due to wildfires, because you guys, we live in Oregon, we've had wildfires around us all the time. We actually had a bunch of lightning happen night before last, and 8 fires started from that lightning. So because of that, the power company does set the power lines to be a little bit more sensitive, is what it says. So basically, we're going to experience more power outages in the summertime during wildfire season. And I believe that's what caused it. So when we 1 a.m., what are we going to do? In the wintertime, again, also our power goes out quite often because of ice and heavy snow on the power lines. So we were looking at thinking, should we invest in a generator now? Is this a sign? Because you guys know if we were to try to go find one in wintertime when everybody's power is going out, there are times when people lose their power around here because of the ice pulling down power lines and trees falling. They don't have power for anywhere between a week to 30 days. It happens all the time to people in certain areas. And so we have talked for years about getting a generator. So we actually were looking one up, not necessarily for yesterday, for the day that this happened, but just we're thinking, is this a sign? Should we buy one now? Because right now they are so cheap because nobody is buying them and there's a ton in stock. So I do think that we are going to invest in one. So we were talking, we're like, okay, what are we going to do? How long can this stuff last? And we figured we'd be okay because we were not opening anything. So we figured we would be okay. The stuff in the freezer for sure would probably be okay. We're just, we were able to check the temperature on our refrigerator and our freezer, and they were doing okay. They were not warming up too much. So it was going okay. So we thought, well, 1 a.m. is probably just an estimate. So we just kept, we're just keeping, being positive, trying to make sure it'll be okay. We figured we'll go out to dinner. We didn't plan on going out to dinner, but we obviously, we're thinking, well, we can't cook. We can't sit here with even a fan on us. It was starting to get hot in the house. It's 100 degrees outside, you guys. So in the meanwhile, 2 hours into the power being off, it was getting hot in the house. And at this point, we were thinking, maybe we should just go for a drive, go out to eat, come home, and then hopefully the power be on. If not, then maybe we should go stop and get a generator. And then, because I did not want to lose all that food in the refrigerator. Again, we checked the refrigerator temperature. It actually was staying really cold, and we're able to just push a button on the front of our refrigerator. It's an old refrigerator, but it does have some perks, and that's one of them. So I was able to push the button and see that the freezer had only gotten up to 4 degrees at this point from 0, where it's normally at in the refrigerator, had gotten up to 38 degrees, and it's normally on 34. So 2 hours in, we're doing good. So I was feeling okay. So at that point, we thought we're going to go out to dinner. So we went out to dinner, came home, and our power was on. So it really wasn't very long. It was on way before 1 o'clock in the morning, but it just really was super frustrating because at that point, I didn't want to pull everything out of the refrigerator, stack it up into a grocery haul. I was tired. It was kind of stressful. I was really anxious about it all happening. So anywho, there is the story of why we have no grocery haul on Saturday, but we will have another one next week. So no worries, we'll be back. So in the meantime here, I am just cutting up some veggies that I need for, actually this is going to be for the entire, you're going to see me use all of these for my meal prep here. And the things that we will be prepping, except for I am cutting some stuff up for some veggies. But I am going to prep today 2 different dinner preps because I just really want to have some good dinners on hand, some healthy ones with lots of veggies. And so I am going to make 2 different dinner preps. I am also going to do a couple of breakfast sandwiches. Literally, I'm just going to do 2 breakfast sandwiches because I think I'm going to probably have my yogurt bowls the rest of the week. But I have been kind of wanting breakfast sandwiches too, but I just haven't had any time to make them in the mornings because I've been really trying to do my workout in the mornings. So I have not been focusing on my food as much as I've been focusing on my activity. And so, but I do want to prep a couple of breakfast sandwiches, and then I am going to prep 1 lunch. But you'll see these dinners that I'm prepping are huge. So all 3 of my dinners, I'm going to prep 2 of the 3 of my dinners this week. I'm also going to do like a chicken salad. I also found a recipe for a buffalo chicken taco salad. It actually looks pretty interesting. So I may have that for dinner one night, but I didn't have to prep anything for that. But you'll see these 2 dinners that I'm prepping. I am definitely going to have lots of leftovers. And these are the types of dinners I like to have leftovers of. You know, there's some dinners that just aren't very appealing to you to have leftovers. Well, this definitely is not one of them. These 2 dinners, I actually will be looking forward to having leftovers. And then with the kielbasa sheet pan meal, my husband will be able to have that because that's something that he can eat, but he can't eat the chicken stir fry because he cannot eat chicken. So anyway, those are going to be what I'm going to be meal prepping. So you're going to see that. But of course, I always want to get all my veggies cut up first. Also going to cut up some strawberries because I've been kind of missing my strawberries in my yogurt bowls. I did not buy bananas this week. So lately, they just have not been very good. For one thing, I like, super green bananas, and I have not been able to find them. But even when I can find, kind of greenish bananas, they're just going bad so quickly. So I did not buy bananas this week. So we'll just have strawberries or mixed berries in our yogurt bowls this week. So I'm trying to think of anything else that I picked up at the grocery store to mention. I'll just make sure I'm trying to show you guys throughout the week in my what I eat in a day videos so I can let you know what I picked up. But it was just really just a typical fill-in weekly grocery haul. So let's go ahead and get the rest of these veggies cut up, and then we'll go into the meals. And here's an overview of all the veggies I cut up. Doesn't this look so good? So we have, this is going to be for, I believe, the stir fry, and then we have for the kielbasa sheet pan. Then we have our nice fresh strawberries. I get questions all the time why my strawberries last all week. I don't know. I put a paper towel on the bottom of them, but I never have issues with any of my fruits and vegetables lasting. They always last throughout the week. And then I have my celery, cucumbers, and bell peppers left over that I can use with some dip. Also going to make some hard-boiled eggs. So I always put them in my Instant Pot. I just do a cup of water with my eggs. I did pick up the heirloom eggs at Grocery Outlet this week. I was so happy to find those. I used the 5-5-5 method. So 5 minutes on the steam setting, 5 minutes to natural release. And then after they're all done, I do put them in an ice bath for at least 5 minutes. But honestly, they usually sit in the ice bath until I am ready for them. I'll be using 2 of these for my lunch prep because we're going to make a dill pickle chicken salad. I'm going to add some eggs in that. And then the rest of the eggs will just be for snacking on the rest of the week. So first up, we're going to do some dinner prep. So I'm going to go ahead and prep up my kielbasa sheet pan meal. So we're going to need some broccoli and cauliflower. You can use whatever veggies you want, but I'm using broccoli, cauliflower. We have some bell pepper, zucchini, summer squash, some carrots, some cabbage. And then for the dressing or for the seasoning, I'm going to use this ranch salad dressing mix and then half of the Italian dressing mix. We have the turkey kielbasa here. We have some baby potatoes and some avocado oil. And then I have these 2-gallon Ziploc bags. I got these at Walmart. They're kind of hard to find, but my Walmart has them, and I love them because it's just enough to put the entire meal in the bag. So I have my big bowl here. We're just going to toss in our kielbasa. Now, when I'm ready to make this, it's so easy because everything is already made and already prepped. Highly recommend doing something like this because literally when I get home from work, you guys know I do work outside the home. So I leave my house usually about 7 in the morning. I don't get home until about 5:30 every day. So having these meals literally where I can just pour this onto a sheet pan, throw it in the oven, and then while it's cooking, I can do other things, get my whatever. If my husband can't eat this type of meal, then I would make him his dinner. I can get undressed and get in my jammies and comfy clothes and whatever I need to do while this is already in there, but no prep, because you guys know this kind of takes a lot of prep, but it's so good if you have it prepped ahead of time. Plus, it's been sitting in that seasoning all this time. So I have all my yummy veggies here. I'm just going to put in 1 tablespoon of avocado oil. You can put in more if you'd like, but I feel like a tablespoon is enough. And sometimes I'll spray it a little bit more with some cooking spray as well. But I'm just going to do a tablespoon, put that in there. And then I already had a half of a little package of the Italian seasoning mix left over from that dip I made last week. And I really only had planned on using half of the ranch seasoning, but I don't think I anticipated this to be this big. There's a lot in here. And so I mixed it up and I end up actually putting in the whole entire package of the ranch seasoning mix when I realized it kind of just soaked it up a little bit. So I think it'll be okay, but you can use whatever seasoning you want. You don't have to use these kind of seasoning packets. I just really like this combination together. I think it's really good, but you can use whatever you like. So yes, I ended up using the whole entire bag. And once I get this all mixed up really well, and actually I ended up just putting it into the really big 2-gallon Ziploc bag and then just kind of smushed it around a little bit with my hands. But here you go, you guys. So this will just go into like a 400-degree oven and just cook it for about 30 minutes, just until your veggies are all cooked, and it'll be so, so yummy. I'll have the points, calories, and all of that here up on the screen for you. And then the next one is going to be a chicken stir fry, which you can do this on a sheet pan or you could do this in a skillet. I'll probably do a sheet pan. So here's all my veggies. Again, I have some cabbage, zucchini, summer squash. Again, all the same veggies as before, but I am also going to use this teriyaki stir fry veggies. I'm not going to use the sauce. I'm going to add in some of these hearts of palm spaghetti. So then you kind of have like noodles in with your stir fry. And then we're going to use our favorite sugar-free teriyaki marinade from G. Hughes, some carrots, and then we have our chicken here. So I'm just actually going to do 2 of here's the hearts of palm, by the way. This one, I really like this brand because I feel like I don't have to rinse it. It's not like in a lot of liquid or anything. So here, if you guys don't know anything about it, this whole container is only 70 calories. Of course, I'm not going to eat the whole thing because I'm putting it in throughout the whole mix, but I really, really love hearts of palm. It is one of my new favorite things. So I ended up cutting up 3 actually of the chicken breasts. I had 4 that little package of thin chicken breasts, so I cut up 3 of them. The other one I'm going to save for a chicken parmesan meal that I'm going to make throughout the week. I did squirt in a little bit of the minced squirty garlic, and then about half of this package of this teriyaki veggies. I love these teriyaki veggies. It has like shredded broccoli, shredded cabbage, has some kale. We have some sugar snap peas. I just love it, but I also like to add just more veggies to it, of course, because I feel like once you cook this down, there's not much left in that stir fry kit at all. So I'm just adding in all of my yummy veggies. Again, just kind of stirring this all up. But again, what I ended up doing was just adding it to the bag. Now you guys know how much I love the G. Hughes products, and they have a few different ones of like for stir fry. So they have one actually called stir fry, which is really hard for me to find in my area. They have this teriyaki one, and they also have a sesame teriyaki one. I also believe they have an orange teriyaki one now too. The stir fry is probably my favorite, but I also like this regular teriyaki one. You can use like 6 tablespoons of this to be 0 points. So this is actually a 0 point meal, by the way, because there is nothing in here that has points, just lots of veggies and lots of fiber, lots of protein. So again, I will have everything here on the screen. Now, you guys, if you've been watching TikTok or on Pinterest or Instagram, you guys know the craze of cottage cheese. But you also know that I have loved cottage cheese forever. I've been eating it ever since I've had this channel. So it's just like me to be like trendy before it was trendy. And that's just how my life is. So we're going to go ahead and blend up this whole entire container because I'm going to be using it for some pasta sauce later in the week. Plus, I want to use it in my chicken salad I'm going to make. Now, I did blend this a little bit too much, I think, because it came out super liquidy. But when this happens to me, if I put it in the refrigerator, I notice that it does thicken up a little bit. But this is the fat-free kind, which I don't like to eat, like with fruit or avocado. I like to use the 2%. But This fat-free one works great if you're just using it for sauces and stuff, because then it's fat-free and it's 0 points if you are doing Weight Watchers, but you're still getting lots of protein. But I like having the whole container and just mixing up the whole container up beginning of the week, and then that way it's all ready to go when I want to use it in recipes. We're going to make a dill pickle chicken salad. So I have my veggies here, which I have some celery and some red onion in here. We're going to use that cottage cheese, some dill pickles, 2 eggs, this canned chicken breast, which I know is like controversial for some reason. I don't know why. I have used canned chicken breast forever. I love it, so I don't know what the problem is. But to each its own, right? If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's the beauty of people being able to choose what they want. I also have some Lori's seasoning salt here and some Kinder's salt, pepper, garlic. So I'm just going to use my little chopper here and chop up my pickles, which I thought would be a lot easier than they were. I don't know why I was having so much trouble, but anyway, we're chopping up our pickles here with our celery and with our onion, and I'm also going to do my egg. Never actually used this for an egg before, but it actually worked pretty good. I usually get my little egg slicer out, but this worked pretty dang good. Just had to take a little bit off the top, which be careful because this thing is so sharp. So then we have our chicken over there, which I actually drained, and I actually patted down with some paper towels to kind of get it nice and dry, because that is my only complaint with canned chicken, is that it can make your chicken salads a little bit runny if you don't make sure it's really, really dry. So I typically will drain it, rinse it, and then I really squeeze it with some paper towels. So we're adding in all of our veggies here with our chicken, and we have our egg, of course, and just going to mix that around. And one thing I did forget to put in this was dill. So I actually did go back in and put some dill in this, completely forgot. I just poured in some of the cottage cheese, a little mixture here. So I would say it was probably about maybe a half a cup. And then I'm adding in 3 tablespoons of this light mayo, just to kind of add a little bit more texture. And then I'm just going to sprinkle on some Lori's seasoning salt. I love the seasoning salt. It's like so classic. But then I also love my salt, pepper, garlic blend from Kinder's. I buy this in bulk at Costco, and I just keep refilling my little like sprinkle little seasoning thing here. So we're going to mix that up. And I have a couple different options of things I picked up at Walmart. I found these little mini pitas, which I don't think I've ever seen before, ever got before. I don't think they're a new thing. I think they're just new to my area. So I'll either use these little mini pitas, or I'll use the regular size. I bought both because I didn't really know exactly what I would think about them. So I just bought the minis, but I also have the regular, and you can use the regular for pizzas and those kind of things as well. So you'll definitely be seeing how I end up eating these during my What I Eat in a Day videos. I don't know what's going on with the camera there. Obviously having a little bit of issue. Next up, we are going to make some breakfast sandwiches. Again, like I said, I'm just making 2. I'm using these light multi-grain English muffins from Thomas. You guys know these are my favorite, 100 calories. Love these things so much. We have 2 slices of plastic cheese. Yes, I know, again, controversial. We have our Canadian bacon. Love this stuff. And then we have our egg whites. This is my hands down my favorite way to make breakfast sandwiches. So since I'm just making 2, I just put a little bit of Lori's seasoning salt in there. I sprayed the little containers with the cooking spray. Now I use 6 tablespoons, so I double the amount of the serving for the egg whites. So that way I'm getting lots and lots of protein. And then we just add in the sprinkling of the seasoning salt. Then these go in the microwave for 3 minutes. And then what I do next is I'm just going to layer these. So I just kind of pour it out. And these round things are just perfect. The eggs do kind of deflate just a little bit. And then I always put my Canadian bacon in the air fryer at 400 for about 4 or 5 minutes. They come out just nice and crispy, and I just love them. We're going to put our cheese on there. We're going to do 3 pieces of the Canadian bacon because that's a serving. And then we just have our topping there, and I just wrap it in foil. Sometimes I wrap it also in parchment paper, then in foil. But I don't have any I'm out of parchment paper, but sometimes that just makes it nice and kind of steams it. It's really good. And we'll just make the second sandwich, which this one ended up a little bit like, it was still a little liquidy, but that's okay because we're going to heat these up in the air fryer. That's how I heat these up whenever I put these in my refrigerator. And then I just toss them in the foil in my air fryer at 400 for about 3 minutes, and it just heats them up nice. It makes the bread nice and toasty, and I just love them. You guys know I eat these all the time, so I love these. Here's kind of a side section here, but these are the best breakfast sandwiches. Highly recommend these. So good. And here is an overview of our entire meal prep. So we have our nice fresh veggies. We have our 2 dinners here, which again, you will see these in my videos next week to see how these come together. We have our strawberries for our yogurt bowls, our veggies, and then we have our dill pickle chicken salad or breakfast sandwiches, and then our hard-boiled eggs that we'll have for snacking. And that is everything, you guys. So as always, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to watch my videos. You guys don't know how much I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.